Hi everyone and welcome to a new podcast of Larisa Gabu show. Today we have a reigning queen that I met at the Global Beauty Award. Welcome and congratulations with your new title.
Oh, thank you for having me. Mwah. And I am so pleased to be here with you. My name is Rosanne Plante, and I'm the new Mrs. Agriculture America Elite.
Congratulations. I follow your competition and I was amazed because we were speaking like one day before and you say maybe I'm going to win, I don't know. And suddenly I saw you again, the crown. Congratulations. What a beautiful crown. It's so beautiful. It fits you. It really suits you.
Thank you. I'm so pleased. It was the first nationals that was held for my system.
Yeah.
It started about 5 years ago, and my directors are Kathy and Shannon Loham in California, and they did quite a bit of pageantry in their spare time. They did a lot of Miss America locals, and
Yeah.
they are great supporters of agriculture in the United States.
Wow.
And their dream was always to have a pageant that combined pageantry and agriculture.
Excellent.
So all of our title holders in our entire system, we all have missions that promote agriculture in some sort. And this was our first nationals. It was put off many times because of COVID or weather in California, and we were finally able to come together where we had many age groups,
Yeah.
and this was our first national event. And so that was over our Memorial Day weekend here in America. And I was crowned about 2 weeks ago, and I'm thrilled.
Awesome, amazing. And before that, we were together at the Global Beauty Award where I met you. We took so many pictures together, and I remember the beautiful dress you had. I remember that so well because when I went through the picture, I was just like, oh, I have to get in touch with this lady.
Well, I am a master gardener since 2004 and
Mhm.
also a master conservationist. I'm a lawyer by day, but a gardener by night. It's a lifelong passion.
Yeah.
And my mission is the Green Ambassadors. So I match home gardeners with excess produce to food pantries and kitchens. And I am trying to feed America one garden at a time. And
Wow.
so my entire wardrobe theme is usually garden related. And so that was the second year in a row that I have wore a floral themed gown to the Global Beauty Awards.
Oh.
And I'm pleased to say that the gown I wore last year, I redid some areas of it. I redid the bodice and did something different with the train, my gown from the last year's awards, and that won best gown at the national pageant.
Oh,
And I have a fabulous designer, local lady who
yeah.
designs gowns here. Her name is Joy Mahan.
She's really talented. Can you imagine? I also remember the dress and I had it in my mind the whole time. The color, it's so nice and was really nice. And you were so welcoming. I remember you because you were so friendly and
Oh,
you have such a good energy. And I just thought I would like to reconnect with you. And
yeah,
when I started writing you and inviting you, you told me I'm going to a competition and then you win. Wonderful. Congratulations. And
thanks.
yeah, you presented yourself a little bit, but would you like to say more about what you're doing? You're a wife and family and yeah.
Sure. Yes, absolutely. So I'm originally from this part of Iowa, Northwest Iowa,
Mhm.
and I felt an immediate connection to you because I had just come to Norway in
Oh,
March of this year. I
oh
have
my
some
God.
Norwegian heritage in me, so I was so excited to meet you, the Queen of Norway, after I had spent
Oh,
2 weeks there and saw the Northern Lights. But I am married to my husband, Chad. We've been married 9 years, and we have a little puppy named Bella, and she's a therapy dog and does volunteer work. We live on 10 beautiful acres, and I've been a lawyer 27 years.
wow.
I am a general practitioner, but I mostly practice in family law and business law. And so I have a passion for helping families. And I also am a volunteer lobbyist. So I also help reform laws that need to be changed, and that's volunteer. And then I also have my pageant volunteer work. And I serve on many committees, but I also am a national attorney for the Wild Ones Native Plant Association. So I help this national garden group implement new laws and help people reestablish native plantings in America, which are dying out, and that's very important for our conservation. And that's a little bit about myself: lawyer by day and pageant lady, volunteer gardener by night.
Wonderful, wonderful. You're a tough lady. Wow. You know, I've been living in Norway for the past soon 16 years, and I work as an interpreter. I'm originally from Cameroon. I speak French, that is my mother tongue, and other African languages from my country. And I do speak Norwegian very well. So I work as an interpreter. I've interpreted a lot in the court and police, French and Norwegian. So that's where I get used to to advocate and lawyers and all that. And I know how it is. You really have a lot of in your pocket, and many hats actually, to be a lawyer and doing all what you're doing. And I love flowers, nature also. It's important to keep our heads and take care of the nature. And even though lately it's not what is happening, it's so important. And I'm also really caring about the nature, the plants, and I'm interested about environment. Maybe not agriculture, but I think you are doing a tremendous job for the society. So, and yes, the beauty pageant. Why did you join the pageantry?
Well, I had always had an interest in pageantry, and I
Yeah.
did a couple very small pageants when I was in the university, couple local pageants, and then I went off to law school. So I that back then in the early 1990s, pageantry was mostly for, younger ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And I went off to law school and became an attorney and came home and started a practice. And it wasn't until after I was married and I was 43 years old,
Wow.
somebody approached me about Mrs. Pageant. And I had no idea that such a thing even existed. And we were trying to start a family. And I said, well, I can't be with child and be a queen. And they said, well, yes, you can. You're married. So I was encouraged, and on a whim, I thought it would go absolutely nowhere. I applied to be Mrs. Iowa International, and I won.
What?
And
Wonderful.
all of a sudden I was going to a national pageant, and I just threw myself into pageantry and found a coach, which is now my good friend Troy.
Yeah.
And I learned all things pageant, and I loved fashion and beauty, but so it was an easy entry for me. And I had a lovely year as Mrs. Iowa International. And sadly, though, I was toward the end of my reign when my husband went to work in a city bus, illegally ran a light and struck his vehicle. And he was nearly killed, and he suffered 2 shattered legs and a very bad traumatic brain injury. And that was a devastating situation for us.
Yeah.
And actually, it was pageantry that helped sustain me in that difficult time. We have a miracle. God was gracious, and he has worked so hard, and the doctor saved his life. And I used gardening as one of the ways that we did his physical therapy. And the pageantry kept my spirits up because I continued to do a few appearances, and that kept my mind. It gave me something happy. When you have a tragedy, things can go very, very badly very quickly. And it forced me to take care of myself, to put on makeup. I still had something to do. And while I was in Omaha with him at a special hospital, I met a director and she asked me to be part of her pageant.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't have time. And then she had a queen who had to step down. And she said, I'm so impressed with you. I'd like to appoint you to fill out this term. So
Mm,
I became Ms. Worldwide United. And then she invited me to compete the next year for the international title. And
mhm,
my husband said, I think you should do this. I think this will keep your spirits up.
mm,
And when you go through a difficult time, I also saw a therapist to help me, and
mhm,
they agreed it would be something for me as the caregiver. So
mm,
I competed and I became Mrs. Worldwide or Ms. Worldwide, and that was in 2019.
mhm,
And I really took the opportunity to promote gardening as therapy for stroke patients
mhm.
and for brain injury survivors.
Wow.
And that was very healing to Chad and to myself. And then I was going to retire. Yeah, we always say we're going to retire. And about the time I was getting ready to step down, I
Yeah.
saw this new pageant pop up that was Agriculture America.
Yeah.
And what a fit. I'm the only queen I've ever known who's promoted gardening. I was
Mm,
the first queen to ever promote gardening in the international system. And
mm,
then all of a sudden they say, find your niche. And I found my niche system and the Agriculture America pageant. So I they were having interviews
mm,
uh, over Zoom at the time because they hadn't had a national pageant. So I
yeah.
interviewed 3 different times, and I was awarded a regional title, which is the highest title that they had at the time. So
Mhm.
I was Mrs. Midwest States for 3 years because in 2020 we all know what happened.
Yes. Pandemic.
So I actually held my lower title for 3 years
Wow.
before I got to nationals, which I was able to develop not just my platform, but with COVID, we all had to pivot as queens.
Mm,
So I developed an online following, and I have a Instagram, and
yeah.
I have a garden vlog series, and I do Friday is flower day where I feature flowers on Friday. I do Tuesday garden tips, and I do work at Wednesdays. And so all your listeners, even if they're overseas, can follow my adventures and get garden tips. And that
Wow.
that's how my pageantry started, from a college young lady to a mature lady now.
Awesome. You know, I'm smiling and laughing because I feel like most of Queens, they are so talented and we sound almost the same, like we are almost everywhere. It's
Mhm.
like we're doing everything and not even small, perfectly and tough things. I'm so proud of you. And
Thank you.
of course, I would love to follow your article and your page. I'm going to share the link
Oh, please.
definitely to follow up. And this is amazing. You know, I could not imagine when I went through your Instagram, I just read something about agriculture and I was just like, okay, maybe she just started the pediatry and wow. And you have a long journey, you have had a long journey and you have a lot to give actually to share and to encourage. I'm intending to organize my very first pediatry this year. I've not been that long in the pageantry, but I've been doing humanitarian job with my NGO, and I want to turn this NGO as an NGO helping men and women to build up their self-image and to
Oh.
restore people who lost hope.
Mhm.
So, and we're gonna have for the first year our competition this year. I'm still like, I don't know if I'm able to do that, but I feel the desire and the willingness, the love. And I feel just encouraged when I listen to you. It's like the way I interpret it is like, Larissa, you have chosen the right path. Even after many years, you still love it. And there's something about pageantry. We take care of ourselves, we take care of others. Actually, it's so lovely. And you know, discovering every day. And a lady like you, so intelligent, you have it all. Anyway, we live by faith actually to be a beauty queen. You have to wake up with a lot of hope to take that crown on your head. and encourage yourself. In fact, I can only clap to you, and yes.
Well, I would just encourage you that I think as queens, we're leaders. And
Mm,
I also think we're very brave. And you don't have to have everything figured out. If you want to do a pageant or you want to do a mission or a platform, I think some days that so many people stop themselves because they think of all the reasons they can't rather than all the reasons they can. And if you think about it, anything in life, we don't know all the answers before we start.
yes.
And so I believe that experience is the best teacher. And I also feel that people are afraid to fail, so they don't try. And I don't see failure as a bad thing.
Okay.
I believe that our culture around the world has given failure a bad name.
It's true.
And failure to me stands for first attempt in learning. And you can't get better unless you try and you see what works and you see what doesn't and you do better. And we did that when we rehabilitated my husband.
Mm-hmm.
We needed to find a way to encourage him to do his therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And the garden therapy was something that we shared before we did gardening. And it then encouraged other people, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
to do something different than just be in a gym with a machine, pushing up weights. And gardening outside is it's good for the soul, it's good for the mind, it's good for the body.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would just encourage whatever you want to do, on all of your listeners, whatever they want to do. I think that they should just simply begin. I think that's the biggest message I give to people. And that's one of my messages this year as Mrs. Agriculture America Elite.
Mm-hmm.
One of my goals is I have green ambassadors in 6 states. And these are people that grow food and contribute to the food pantries. And my goal by the end of my reign is to have at least a green ambassador in every state, all
Yeah.
50 states, and to encourage people, no matter how small, to contribute. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to have an entire acre of garden like I do. And so I'll be traveling the United States, and I've come up with a way to recruit people and to show them that the littlest things make a big difference when we join together. So I've created the 6 seeds of success, Rosanne's 6 seeds. And they're as simple as donate a plant,
Mm-hmm.
plant an extra plant, find out where your food kitchen is and volunteer. Very tangible steps that anybody can take. And
Mm-hmm.
I think if we let people know that they can make a difference, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be $1 million donation or a year of your time, that
Mm-hmm.
people have no idea that small things add up. And so that's one of my major goals as Mrs. Agriculture Elite is to
Wow.
encourage people to become involved in feeding the hungry. And we really are we are so we people concentrate on our differences, but
Mm-hmm.
we are so the same. And when I was in Norway in March, I had the pleasure of going to a Sami village and
Yeah.
meeting the Sami people and spending a night there in a little teepee,
Yeah.
feeding the reindeer, hearing about the culture in Norway. And I found so many things that I could relate to with our Sami guide. And I think that's a great example. You can go all the way around the world,
You
and people have more in common than you realize.
Yeah, we have a lot of similarities, true. And when I saw the Sami people first time, it reminded me of my culture in Africa, from where I come, from the Bantu tribe. And I just call and say, I met white people here who are exactly like us. And I just, even the language sound like that, because the Sami, they have another special language.
Yes.
Norwegian already look like an African language dialect or something. That's the way I feel, because I learned Norwegian so easily than
Mhm.
German, for example. So yes, we have a lot of similarities, and we are not different actually. We are the same. Eyes are here, the nose in the middle, the mouth.
Yes.
So it's just the color that but inside we are all the same. Most of people think no, we are different, but we are the same.
Right.
So, and as you said, you joined the pageantry because of And what would you say? I know you said a lot of things, but what would you say to encourage young ladies in Norway, for example, and all around the world, that they should join the pageantry for such a time as this? Because many young people, even women who are above 30, 40, now have lost hope because of what have happened. And what would you say to us?
Well, what I would say is pageantry gives us a stage. It gives us a, a safe place, because I have met so many, including you, just beautiful women. And I don't just mean the hair and the makeup, truly beautiful inside, that are in pageantry because they want to have a mission and they want to help people. I help feed people. Some people advocate for children with autism. Some people advocate for children with disabilities. Some people advocate for drug awareness. And it goes on and on. Alzheimer's awareness, brain injury. You know, I have a sub mission now. But one thing that I think we all share as women in pageantry is we have passion to help other people.
Yes.
And when you help other people, it does something to your heart and your soul. And what you give, you don't even realize, but you receive 10 times back. That's the blessing, I think. But when you give of yourself, and I think there is sometimes misconceptions about how women in pageantry are, and they're all incorrect. We're very hardworking queens, and we're very hardworking women. And here's the deal. This is fun and this is nice, but we are this without this.
Yes, it's true.
I fed people before I was in a pageant, and I think if you talk to most queens, they were working and helping other people before they did pageantry, and it's just another outlet to help spread their word. So if somebody was out there, I would like them to know that pageantry is very varied now. As you noted, the ages. I'm soon to be 52. I'm proud. I don't feel 52. I don't act.
Don't look like.
Thank you. And I don't want people to think you have to be 20 and be in Miss America. You don't have to be a size 2. I am not. I'm a size 12. And you can be beautiful at any size, age, weight. And we put ourselves together well. But what we do the most is we reach out and we link arms. And here we're linking arms, you know, across an ocean tonight.
Exactly.
And it is a sisterhood. And that's what I would like people to know is, please join pageantry, not just for the gowns or the crown, which obviously that's tons of fun. We had fun in Seattle, but that's not really what it's about. It's really about linking arms and sisterhood with other women.
Wonderful. It's true. I would just say amen to that.
Yeah.
It's true. So true. And you said it well. And I'm so happy that you could make it today. It's late here, very late, 1 a.m. And we decided to do this because of sisterhood, because of others, to share love and to promote the pageantry. Thank you so much, dear sister, for coming. And I hope that I'm going to invite you again. I really want that, because you have so much to say, and I'm intending to organize even some like virtual seminar, and I would love you to be part of. So we're going to see how we plan this. And thank you so much for coming. Love you. See you next time.
Love you. And thank you for having me. And it's been such an honor to meet you and now connect and have a friendship. And I would absolutely love to visit with your listeners again and speak on any number of topics in a seminar. So I hope this is the beginning of a long and wonderful friendship. And I'm so pleased to have a sister in one of my heritage countries now.
Likewise. Thank you for everyone who have been watching, and thank you for your comments. And I'm going to share the link. So visit our website and send questions if you're wondering about something. We love you all. See you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.